Before we get started, please, if you find this content valuable, support me with a like, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the latest videos, and share it with people you know who might also find this knowledge useful. Thank you. Application of soldered connections in buildings. Various technologies are available for connecting electrical wires within buildings, and soldering is also a question that arises in the electrical profession. The topic of connecting MCU and MKH wires is a regularly recurring debate among professionals, which is why it is important to clarify the relevant rules and regulations. MCU wires are solid copper conductors with PVC insulation, primarily used in dry rooms in mechanically protected environments. These wires are placed in protective conduits, cable trays, or switchboards, and it is important to follow proper connection techniques during their installation. The currently valid IEC 60364-5-52 standard clearly addresses the issue of wire connections. Point 526.2 of the standard emphasizes that when selecting any connecting device, the conductor material, insulation, number, and shape of wires forming the conductor and the conductor cross-section must be considered. The standard notes that in power cable and wire systems, it is advisable to avoid soldered connections. If they are still intended to be used, the permanent flow limit, mechanical stress, and temperature increase in case of short circuit must be considered. According to professional regulations, non-welded wire connections may still be made with fittings, while connections made only by twisting wires together are no longer permitted. Soft soldered connections do not resist mechanical stress, so their use is only permitted with mechanical strain relief. Moreover, soldering reduces the conductor's load capacity, and particularly its resistance to short-circuit currents. A question often arises among professionals about protective conductor connections. The IEC 60364-5-54 standard clearly states that all connections between protective conductors or between protective conductors and other structures must ensure permanent electrical continuity and adequate mechanical strength. An important rule is that these connections must not be made by soldering. From the perspective of practical application, the requirements for connections are decisive. Every electrical connection must satisfy protection against electric shock, protection against thermal effects, mechanical durability, and must have appropriate resistance. According to standards, a connection's resistance should not be greater than the resistance of 1 meter of the connecting conductors. A further problem with soldering application is the changes that occur during heat treatment of copper. The heating and slow cooling of copper during soldering causes hardening and leads to brittleness, which is unfavorable in building electrical applications. The electrical properties of connections created during soldering also become worse, as the specific resistance of solder material is significantly higher than that of copper. Weather changes can also affect the condition of soldered connections. In case of electrical fire, soldered connections do not provide demonstrably stable connection, unlike connections made with appropriate fittings. From insurance companies' perspective, it is also an important consideration that in case of unprofessional connections, damages are not compensated in all damage events. According to the profession's current position, the use of spring wire connectors, especially WAGO types, is recommended in building electrical work. These provide adequate mechanical strength and electrical connection and are easily installable and checkable. For stranded wires, the use of end sleeves is recommended for securing twisted ends, but soldering is not justified even then. In summary, although soldering is technically feasible, It is not a recommended method for connecting MCU and MKH wires within buildings. Based on the relevant IEC 60364 standard series, the use of soldered connections should be avoided and connection with appropriate fittings should be used instead. Even with ensuring mechanical strain relief, soldering does not become an advantageous solution from the perspective of long-term reliability. We've reached the end of this video. Thank you for watching it all the way through. If you found this video useful, please help make it available to more professionals. Support my work with a like and share it with those who also work or study in this field. Subscribe to the channel to be notified about new chapters, and don't forget to turn on notifications. I look forward to your comments and your own experiences in the comment section. See you in the next video too.